So whenever you visit a web page or a application like Facebook or LinkedIn, or let's say like Replit, and I'm already logged in, like it already knows who I am. It says, hey, this is my username. So it's kind of like, hey, how does it know that I'm already logged in? Or if I even like visit like Facebook, or like, is Asana working? Like, or Trello. Okay, Trello. So it already knows I'm logged in, and it says, hey, Tom Preet, you just need to confirm your email address, but I'm already logged in. So I didn't have to I left the page and I came back and I'm already logged in. How does it know to that I've already logged in and I don't have to log in again? There's something called local storage that every web browser or every website you visit, not everyone, but all the big ones that store specific things, specific data in your web browser in something called local storage, or it could be session storage or cookies, stuff like that. So if I look in local storage and in Trello, if I click there, so I'm in my console, I literally just typed in local storage. Trello saved all this information into my local storage, like last time or time last viewed action. It said, hey, look at it's literally recording different actions I've taken at specific dates and times. So like in July, these are different actions. This is just data, like tracked users. It's got it's storing specific, all this weird information about me as a user inside my local storage. It's got stuff about AWS, all this like weird stuff, like AWS UI viewed, my ID me. So this must be my ID or something. Action history. And if you look at a lot of websites, all this stuff is there. So I'm going to just go to Replit. So I'm already logged in. If I literally type in local storage, okay, has different information about me. So ID, it's got my username, my email, code platoon instructor, first and last name. So AJS, user traits. These are things, attributes that Replit is saving about me. No, don't install Docker. Language name, JavaScript, debug, all this stuff. So that's how it knows, hey, when I visit this page, it checks in my local storage or my session storage or different places I can store data in the web browser. And if there's values there, it'll do some stuff. It'll do a request to the database and grab that specific user based on some of this data. Again, if you just type in local storage, and you can click it, and there you get all that data. But what is in local storage specifically, it looks like it's stored as an object, but it's really not. It's actually stored as a string. So, or it's stored as keys, and then those keys values might look like an object, but in fact, it's a string. So if you look at AJS user traits, Tom, it looks like an object because it's got an email, Tom Preet, bio, but in fact, it's actually like a string representation of an object or an array or something like that. So you can kind of see down here, there's a string of an object. Does anybody have any questions about local storage? So, did anybody have a question?
I was wondering about the Incognito window. Do they have local storage as well?
It does, but I think it clears it every time. So I can clear the local storage. So in Trello, again, you have local storage. If I'm like, hey, I don't like the fact that Trello is storing stuff, I can go up to here, I think it's application, and look at all of the storage in my web browser and say local storage, and I can actually clear it all by doing, where is it? Clear cache. Where would it go? There's a way I can do it in here. It's been a while since I've done it. Local storage. Oh, right here. It just says clear storage. It says this is how much storage that Trello is saving into my local storage in my web browser. And I can clear site data, local storage. So this is the storage that I want to clear. So you go up to application, clear storage, and say clear site data. Or you can come under here and say local storage.clear. Now, okay. Now if I go back to local storage, oh, it's still all there. Is it all there? Only this stuff is here. So if I refresh it, oh, it's still logging me in. It's probably got cookies set up. So, but if I click here, clear site data, and then refresh it, see, now I'm logged out. See, it's trying to go to T8, my board, but now it's logged out. So it can't log me in because I've cleared all my storage. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yeah, I was also wondering about the incognito window, the other.
Yes, yeah. Incognito opens.
Incognito.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry for my spelling.
Oh, no, I just totally went off the rails. Yeah, if you open up incognito mode, so if I go, I can't even open up incognito mode for some reason right now. But if I open up incognito mode, it wouldn't. It would open without anything stored in your page or in your browser. Reload. All right.
Okay. Only the website and you who can view this information?
Yeah, only the website. Well, yeah, technically yes. See, when I cleared my local storage, it cleared everything. So like now everything has been logged out. So all my Gmail's logged out, everything is logged out. All right.
I have a quick question about that.
Yep.
That local storage, though, is pretty much just for you because they already have all that data somewhere else, probably in a more permanent form, right?
I mean, I want to say it's just for me. It's for the site. It's for the application to store data about you on your web browser to see maybe where you were at. So if they didn't store it on the local storage, the next time you saved or visited it, it wouldn't know to log you back in.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm tracking now.
Yeah. So with that, let's do some number guessing game let's add a user to our number guessing game and have the game know who is playing in this web browser. So here, if I type in local storage in this page, it's 0. There's nothing in here. If I wanted to set an item, I can do set item. And it takes in the key that you want, say like username, and then the value of that username, like Tom. So now if I type in local storage, click enter, I've got the username. Now local storage has a length of 1, where before it had a length of 0. Now it's got a length of 1 with a key of username, and the value is Tom. Now, say I wanted to store some other data. So I can do local storage dot set item. Let's say I don't know, some object, and I wanted to assign that to be an actual object with an ID of 1, a name of let's say Tom, like so. And if I save that, it says is not a function. Oh, I didn't. Okay. So I did set item like so. If I do that, cool. And if I type in local storage again, but notice how the sum object becomes like an object because it's actually not an object, because I can do like type of, and then before I actually check that, I can say like, if I want to set an item, I can also get an item. Local storage dot get item dot get item. Now I want to grab the username. I can get Tom. If I wanted to grab the sum object, it's an object for whatever reason. It's because I passed it in as an actual JavaScript object. And you can't really do that. So I'm going to clear this local storage. Local storage dot clear. I'm going to clear that. And then I'm going to go up to local storage again, just to make sure. So what you need to do, you need to store your data in a stringified. If you want to store an object, you have to stringify it first. So like convert it into a string before you actually store it into local storage. But we'll get to that a lot later. Does anybody have any questions about local storage initially? Nothing? All right.
Is there a use for local storage for like content delivery? Like if you have I don't know, certain files that might be big, to just save them to the browser. So every time the user goes there, you don't have to.
No, I don't think you want to for like, cause no, I'll say no that.
Okay. What's like the main use case then?
Is to store data about a user and to see if the user is logged in or not, and to store other data about it. Maybe like, I don't know, marketing stuff. Yeah. Like different attributes. So if I type in arrow, let's see, log in, it can like track a user. Yeah, it's a lot. It's just for like tracking user stuff. So let's actually, I'm going to actually go into Gmail real quick. Sign in again. Let's see.
If a content creator wanted to be, I guess, malicious in a way, could they make it so it automatically stores a ridiculous amount of data?
Yeah,
storage.
Yeah, but they can. So that's how like hackers can hack into a website or hack into certain things. If they hack into an application, they can store things in your local storage or chain or extract data from your local storage, and to make them simulate. They can essentially simulate you as a user, and then they can perform malicious activity. So this is all what Google is storing about me. There's all kinds of crazy stuff right now, but so right now my local storage is 0 for my number guessing game.
Just one more question on that, Tom. If Google's if Google has a bunch of stuff about you in your local storage, wouldn't it make more sense for them to be like saving that data about you, not on local storage, like somewhere else?
Oh, it's also stored on their servers as well. They usually do it to reference. They're like, all right, grab this number in local storage, check it to see if it matches at something in the database. If it's true, or if it equals something, then do something else. So like log the user in, just track them wherever they go on the screen, or track what they type in. It's like all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So whether it's local storage or session storage or cookies, the application could extract whatever data they want, check it against the database, and then do something. So that's what it's for, to make sure, or to see if like, hey, are you a new user, an existing user, and there's a bunch of other use cases for it. It could also, it's a lot of it's done like SEO, just marketing, tracking IDs to see where you're typing. Yeah, it's all kinds of different stuff. So for here, for our number guessing game, I'm just going to add some more code up here. So inside the nav bar, I'm going to add another div that says, it has an H1 tag that says welcome, and then another div that says P, please enter your name, followed by an input, and then ID equals username, type, just say username, and a placeholder equals like Ruthie Cohen. Then maybe a button to submit username with an ID of submit username. Uh-oh, what happened? So now if I refresh, it says welcome. So the first time I'm visiting here, it just says welcome, please enter your username. But what I want to do is keep track of this user. So every time they come, it'll say like welcome Tom or welcome, Dylan or something. But I first need to type in give the application a username, click submit, have that name stored in local storage. And then every time I visit this, it'll say welcome Tom. And then this part will be deleted or not show because I've already entered a username. Does anybody have any questions about that portion? So just like I did with getting the number from here, I can get a username by the submit username. So I can say, hey, document.getElement by ID. Is it submit username? Do an on click. Whoop. And then I can say, how do I set an item in local storage? Local storage dot set item. So I can do local storage dot set item dot username equals document dot get element by ID username, because I'm grabbing the element from here, username dot value. So it's setting the username. So if I type in Tom, so before I do that, I'm going to clear this. So local storage, empty, submit my username, local storage. Now my username is Tom. But when I submit my username, I don't want this thing to exist anymore. I want to remove that. So I can actually do that by I can do id.get username. Let's see this. After I do that, I can say like, hey, document.get element by ID, get user name. and then I'm going to remove that entire element. So if I clear the local storage, dot clear again, and I refresh, I can say local storage, it's empty. I can say Tom. Cool. I remove that, but I need to add Tom to this welcome Tom thing. So I can, and how I can do that, because now if I refresh, everything's still there. But if I type in local storage, Tom is still there. So what I want to do is say welcome Tom every time that a username exists in my local storage. So I can do that by just writing a method called let does user exist. And this method will say, hey, if local storage dot get item username. So if there's a username in local storage, can let username equals local storage dot get item username. So if there's a username in the local storage, come in here, create a variable called username, set that value to the value of the usernames in the local storage. Then I can do document.getElementById, and I can say instead of h1, let's just say like ID welcome message. Do I already have a message? Nope. So get element by ID. I'm going to use a welcome message. And then I can do the inner HTML equals string interpolation welcome username. There we go. So I can execute that. All right. And then at the very end, I can return, actually, I'm going to return this. Return. And then here, I'm going to say, does user exist, and invoke that. So let's just refresh this. See, nothing changes. Local storage dot clear. All right, so I'm starting with an empty local storage. I click Tom, click it, that goes away because it calls local storage, does user exist. Now it says welcome Tom. And I can look in my local storage, there's my username Tom. But if I refresh this, it doesn't say, hey, welcome Tom, and everything comes here. When it comes, it just says welcome, just like I've never been here before. But Tom has been here before because his username is there. So I need to invoke does user exist at the very bottom. So now if I refresh this, whoop, it continuously says welcome Tom. And if I exit out of here, and if I come back, and just bring it anywhere, it's again says welcome Tom. It's right there. Now if I clear it, now if I refresh, now it doesn't know that a user is here anymore because there's nothing in local storage. But if I said like, hey, Ruthie, welcome Ruthie, and now every time I come here, it says welcome Ruthie. What questions do you have about local storage?
Can you go back over to your JavaScript?
Yes. Anybody have any questions about local storage? All right.